Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be diving into something that affects a lot more people than you might think.
Right.
Sleep apnea.
Yeah.
You've sent us some really interesting research on some natural ways to manage it, and I'm excited to unpack it all with you.
Yeah, me too.
Now, we all know somebody who snores,
Oh, yeah.
but sleep apnea is way more than that.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Absolutely. It's a serious sleep disorder.
Oh, wow.
Where your breathing actually stops and starts
Really?
repeatedly throughout the night.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's not just about feeling tired either.
Okay.
Sleep apnea can have some really major impacts on your health in the long run.
Okay, so let's get this straight. Right off the bat, we're talking about more than just a noisy night for your partner.
Right.
This can actually be dangerous.
Yeah, you got it. Those pauses in breathing, I mean, your brain and the rest of your body isn't getting enough oxygen.
Oh, wow.
And over time, that can increase your risk for all sorts of things. Heart problems, high blood pressure, even stroke.
I honestly had no idea the stakes were that high.
Yeah,
I guess that's why it's called a disorder and not just a, sleep quirk.
exactly. And to make things even more complex,
Right?
there are actually 3 types of sleep apnea:
Oh, okay.
obstructive, central, and complex.
Oh, wow.
Obstructive, where your airway gets physically blocked,
Okay.
is the most common one.
Good.
Central sleep apnea is less frequent and involves the brain not sending the right signals to your breathing muscles.
Oh, interesting.
And then complex is a combination of the two.
Okay. What causes obstructive sleep apnea in the first place?
Well, it's rarely just one thing.
Okay.
It's often a combination of factors,
Okay.
like a perfect storm. For example, excess weight is a big one. It puts pressure on your airways, making them more likely to collapse when you're relaxed and sleep.
So that's probably why weight loss is often recommended
Right.
as part of managing sleep apnea.
Exactly. But it's not just about weight.
Okay.
Genetics play a role too.
Okay.
Some people are simply predisposed to it. Maybe they have a naturally smaller airway
Okay.
or enlarged tonsils. And then you factor in things like aging.
Okay.
As we get older, muscles naturally weaken, including those in our throat. And lifestyle habits like smoking
Oh, yeah.
or excessive drinking can further irritate and compromise your airways.
It's all starting to connect now, like a chain reaction.
Exactly. And to complicate things further,
Okay.
medical conditions like allergies or chronic nasal congestion
Yeah.
can also contribute to the problem.
Wow. But how do you know if you even have sleep apnea?
Yeah.
It's not like you're awake to notice your breathing stopping.
Right. It can be tricky to self-diagnose.
Yeah.
But there are some telltale signs.
Okay, like what?
Loud, persistent snoring is definitely a red flag.
Yeah.
If someone notices you gasping or choking in your sleep,
Oh, gosh.
that's another major clue.
So even if you sleep alone,
Yeah.
there might be clues if you're really paying attention.
Yes. And it goes beyond just the nighttime.
Really?
Yeah, sleep apnea can cause some pretty noticeable daytime effects too.
Like what?
Waking up with a headache is common.
Oh.
Feeling constantly groggy no matter how much sleep you get.
Uh-huh.
Like you just can't seem to shake the fog.
Wow.
Difficulty concentrating, irritability, mood swings.
Oh, my goodness.
Those can all be signs that your sleep is being disrupted.
What are some things people can try to manage their sleep apnea naturally?
Well, as we already touched on, weight loss can be a game changer.
Yeah.
Even a small reduction in weight can make a significant difference in reducing the pressure on your airways.
I've seen that theme of airway pressure coming up a lot.
It's key in obstructive sleep apnea.
Okay.
And something else that surprised me in your sources was
Okay.
how much impact sleep position can have. Really? Simply sleeping on your side instead of your back
Okay.
can actually improve airflow.
What else did your research turn up?
There were a couple of things that target breathing directly.
Okay.
Breathing exercises and yoga can strengthen your respiratory muscles,
Okay.
improve airflow,
Uh-huh.
and may help reduce apnea episodes.
Interesting. I've always thought of yoga as more of a relaxation thing.
It's definitely that, but specific yoga breathing techniques can
Right.
actually be quite invigorating and build strength.
Anything else?
This one might seem basic. Okay.
But don't underestimate the power of a humidifier.
Uh-huh.
Keeping the air moist can help keep your nasal passages clear
Okay.
and reduce congestion, making breathing easier overall.
Okay. That makes sense, especially for people who also deal with allergies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready for the part that I know you're most excited about?
Bring on the food connection. I mean, I knew certain foods can make me feel sleepy or wired, but I never really connected to something as specific as sleep apnea.
Right, and that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The research you sent in
Yeah.
dives into how specific nutrients and compounds in food can either help or hinder sleep apnea symptoms.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Let's start with the good stuff. What are some of these sleep apnea superstars we should be stocking up on?
Well, one that stood out was magnesium.
Okay.
Now, we often hear about magnesium for relaxation and muscle cramps,
Yeah.
but it's especially relevant for sleep apnea
Okay.
because it can help relax the muscles in your throat. It can constrict and cause those breathing pauses.
So it's not just about feeling relaxed overall, it's targeted relaxation for those specific muscles.
Exactly. Foods like spinach, almonds, and even bananas are great sources of magnesium. And speaking of targeting specific mechanisms, another category that popped up was foods rich in tryptophan.
Okay, now tryptophan, I know from Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes!
Isn't that what's supposed to make everyone sleepy after the big feast?
That's the one. And there's actually a scientific reason for that post-turkey slump.
Okay.
Tryptophan helps your body produce serotonin, which then gets converted into melatonin.
Yeah, okay.
The hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle.
So it's like a double whammy for sleepiness. Are there other foods besides turkey that are good sources of tryptophan?
Absolutely. Eggs, dairy products, nuts, and seeds also contain tryptophan. And here's another interesting tidbit.
Okay.
Omega-3 fatty acids found in things like salmon, walnuts, and flaxseed
Okay.
can also support melatonin production.
Right.
And we can't forget about some of those classic soothing remedies.
Oh.
Chamomile tea, for example,
Yeah.
has been used for centuries to promote sleep.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out there's actually a scientific basis for that.
I'm a big fan of chamomile tea.
Yeah.
It just has this calming effect. But what's the science behind it?
Chamomile contains an antioxidant called apigenin,
Okay.
which binds to certain receptors in your brain that promote relaxation and sleepiness.
So it's not just a placebo effect. There's actual chemistry happening. I love that. What else is on this sleep-promoting menu?
This one might surprise you. Kiwi?
Kiwi?
Really?
Yeah, I just thought they were tasty.
They are delicious.
Yeah.
But they also happen to be packed with antioxidants and serotonin.
Oh, wow.
And some research suggests that eating a couple of kiwis before bed can actually improve sleep quality.
Wow. Okay, I'm officially adding kiwi to my grocery list.
Yeah.
What else have we got?
Even something as simple as a spoonful of honey before bed can be beneficial.
Honey.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I always think of honey for a sore throat, not necessarily sleep apnea.
Right. But think about it.
Okay.
Snoring is often caused by vibrations in those relaxed tissues in your throat. Honey might help reduce those vibrations and keep things a bit quieter. Plus, it has those anti-inflammatory benefits we talked about earlier.
Okay, I'm convinced honey it is. What else can we add to this sleep-promoting pantry?
If you're a tea lover, herbal teas like peppermint and ginger are worth trying.
Okay.
Peppermint can help clear nasal congestion, while ginger has natural anti-inflammatory properties.
So they're working on multiple fronts to open up those airways.
Exactly. And finally, a surprising contender from the research, oatmeal.
Oatmeal. I always think of that as a breakfast food.
It's great for breakfast, but it turns out it's also a good source of melatonin,
Oh, wow.
which, as we've discussed, is essential for regulating sleep.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about what to add to your diet,
Right.
but what about things to avoid?
Okay, yeah, I was wondering about that. Are there certain things that can actually make sleep apnea worse?
Absolutely. Alcohol, for example, might seem like it helps you sleep because it makes you feel drowsy.
Yeah.
But the problem is alcohol relaxes your throat muscles too much, which can actually worsen those breathing pauses in sleep apnea.
So it's like a false friend. It lures you in with drowsiness, but then betrays you in your sleep.
Exactly. It disrupts your sleep cycle and can make your sleep apnea symptoms more pronounced.
Okay, alcohol noted. What else is on the avoid list?
Caffeine is an obvious one. It's a stimulant, so it can interfere with your sleep cycle and make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
No surprise there. Anything else we should steer clear of?
Heavy or spicy meals close to bedtime can be problematic. They can cause indigestion and make it harder to get comfortable, which can disrupt your sleep.
Yeah, I can see how that would make it tough to fall asleep, let alone sleep soundly.
And finally, sugary snacks.
Yeah.
Those can give you a burst of energy at the worst possible time,
Right.
making it harder to wind down and fall asleep.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground on the dietary front.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing food is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Right.
One of the simplest yet most powerful things you can do is establish a consistent sleep schedule.
Okay, so you mean like going to bed and waking up around the same time each day?
Yeah.
Even on weekends?
Exactly.
And it ties into another important aspect, creating a relaxing bedtime routine.
Okay.
This could involve a warm bath, reading a book, listening to calming music,
Yeah.
or practicing some gentle stretching or meditation. And speaking of creating the right environment, your bedroom setup can play a significant role too.
Okay, so we're talking about the basics, like a dark, quiet, and cool room.
Those are definitely essential.
Okay.
Light can disrupt melatonin production,
Right.
noise can be distracting,
Yeah.
and heat can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep comfortably.
Makes sense.
But it goes beyond just temperature and lighting.
Okay.
Your bed and pillows should be comfortable and supportive. Another helpful tool for a good sleep environment is a white noise machine to block out distracting sounds.
I'm a big fan of white noise. What else is in this lifestyle arsenal for tackling sleep apnea?
Well, I can't let you off the hook without mentioning exercise.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Exercise is like the magic bullet for so many things.
It is.
But how does it specifically help with sleep apnea?
Well, for starters, regular exercise can help with weight management,
Okay.
which we know is a major factor in sleep apnea.
Right.
It also strengthens your respiratory muscles
Uh-huh.
and improves your cardiovascular health,
Okay.
both of which can contribute to better breathing and sleep.
So it's not just about losing weight, it's also about building strength and stamina
Right.
for overall respiratory health.
Exactly. And let's not forget the stress-busting benefits of exercise.
Right, because stress can wreak havoc on sleep.
Absolutely. There's one crucial point we need to emphasize.
I'm all ears.
It's the importance of professional guidance.
Okay.
While all of these natural approaches can be incredibly valuable, they should never be a substitute for proper medical advice.
Right.
So until next time, deep divers sleep well.